All right, hello. We are back with another author interview. This time with, and I'm gonna try to get your name right, but please correct me. Alexander Verbeek-van Toren.
Good enough, close
Good.
enough.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Who is Dutch, as you might see from the name, and he's going to tell us a little bit give me a quick preview of your book, which is right up here in the corner.
yeah, it's the one in the upper left. So, Corruption is a young adult queer fantasy that takes place in a world where everybody has five crystals, and one of them is lit up with most people, and that decides their role in society. However, Revan is one of the very few people who has more than one crystal lit up, and therefore he is called an else, an other crystal. He is hated and loathed. Thankfully, nobody at the college he goes at knows about the true nature of his crystals, and he can always go home through magic portals where everybody knows who he really is. Until one day, suddenly the magic stops and he no longer can go home, and now he has to be all by himself and keeping his identity secret. Nobody knows there, not his best friend, not the girl he has a crush on, nobody. And then suddenly he finds out a big clue on why the magic has stopped.
Yeah. So that's it. That's your quick preview of this. It's a very interesting story, very unique. And this is, I also say we have five books that are in series in this campaign. So this is our other book that is not in a series. So this is a standalone. So if you want a nice standalone book, this is a great one to pick up. But we're going to talk a little bit more about it. So this has a really cool world behind it, and I want to get into the characters too. But real quick, so the world, because this is it's basically on it's islands in lava, right? So you had talked with me a little bit about that. Where did that idea originally come from?
Well, I was very intrigued by the idea of a society that is very dependent on magic to travel around, and then that magic suddenly stopping. And
Yeah.
if they were islands in the sea in just regular water, then okay, magic has stopped. We're gonna make a swim for it, and then we'll be okay. And lava is, well, you can't cross lava, and that is just going to be very hard to do without, being burned to a crisp.
Right.
That was mostly how I got there. It's a society that really works through magic portals and makes the logistics work like that.
Yeah.
And then I take it away.
Hmm.
And that is much more interesting if it's lava than if it's something else.
Right. The floor is actually lava.
The floor is actually lava here, unless it's not, and then you're fine. But
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, yeah, cool. And you can see that on the cover. We wanted to really get that represented on the cover. So you sort of, you can see the isolation in this. Which is the other part I really wanted to talk about with this. That it's a theme sort of near and dear to both of our hearts. Talking about the main character is bisexual. So I thought that was an interesting, a great story. There's not enough stories with bisexual male main characters. Um, so tell us a little bit about dynamics of relationships in this world and how that works.
I mean, first of all, we are both bisexual.
Yeah.
So that was, well, bisexuality is a big part of who I am. So it was important to let that shine through in the novel. But yeah, this book also relationship wise, like you mentioned, the world building is very interesting. And this world does something interesting in the relationships as well, particularly in regards to sex.
Hmm.
When you are 16, you are expected to have a coden, and a coden is essentially a friend with benefits. And you can sleep with that person in the room, and you're expected to have sex with them every now and then. And this is a way of helping you in your sexual development. That is the way I had designed it. It's not, I would like to invite readers to not see it as a perfect system because I definitely did not intend for it to do it that way.
Yeah.
It's just more of a different system compared to how we do it, how Americans do it,
Yeah.
and that is, but yeah, what are different ways of showing sexual development in teenagers
Mhm.
compared to the way we do it in our Western cultures.
Yeah. And that, I guess, do you mind talking a little bit about what you do? Because that sort of influences this.
Yeah, that is fine. I am actually by day a child psychologist, and I see kids of all ages. And but I should say that this, well, sex does not play a big role in my therapy. You don't have to worry about that. But I have done a master's degree in child psychology. I have done a degree in child development, and I look at the way cultures work uh, about it. And what I've always found very interesting and how I got to this relationship system is what I know about the states, what I know particularly about the southern states, is that basically sex education there is abstinence only.
Pretty much. Yeah.
And you would expect there, just purely going off of that, you might expect that teen pregnancies would not be there at all. But
Mhm.
instead, they are soaring through the roof. They are very high.
Mhm.
Whereas countries and states and provinces that work with that actually do give sex education um, are have less teen pregnancies. Here in the Netherlands, we are less squeamish about teenagers having sex. I'm not saying it's without any controversies. If any Dutch people are listening, if I'm saying the word lentekriebels, then you might already know what controversies I'm talking about. It's not without controversies, but we are in general less squeamish about sex. So I looked at how, some states in America go about sex education. And I was like, okay, that doesn't work. What would be a different system?
Yeah. Yeah. It's very cool, and it's one of the ideas actually that drew me to this book. Because I guess full disclosure, Alexander and I are friends. We've
Yeah.
known each other for oof, what, 10 years, I guess.
I think
Um,
we met for the first time at the Writing Excuses cruise in
yeah.
2015. So that must be
Yeah.
10
Yeah, so
years.
10 years. Yeah, so we went on a writing cruise together, and talked back and forth, and then have talked since then online. And
Yeah.
we got to meet a couple places around the world and various world cons and everywhere. And then we actually went on a cruise, a couple cruise, with me and my wife and Alexander and his husband to New Zealand and Australia last year. And
So,
uh, and that was where talked about this a little bit more. So it was very interesting. I really liked the idea of looking at the society, and especially with regard to the United States versus the world, and like how education is sort of developed, and how good policies and bad policies. And um, so that was, and I guess tell me your side a little bit, because we talked sort of about like how this would be perceived in the U.S. versus other countries.
when you say my side of this, what exactly do you mean?
Well, I guess we talked about it, but then because you had some misgivings when you came to me first with this book.
I was a bit concerned when I pitched the book to you. I also pitched the Coden thing, and I mentioned that I was ready to drop that if necessary,
Yeah,
if you wanted to publish it as a result. And
right.
you said no, 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 let's leave it in, and which is honestly a good thing because it made
Yeah,
the book all the better
yeah,
and the world all the better.
yeah. So especially for the people who are backing this campaign, probably associated with the LGBTQ community in some way. I really wanted to get this out because it has a nice you know look at relationships, especially for queer people and how that's developing. So quite aside from the fantasy story and all that stuff, it has some good social commentary in it as well. Um, so yeah, I guess tell me a little bit. Well, I know, but share with our audience a little bit about some of the other stuff you've written and what other stuff you write.
What other stuff do I write? What I find interesting. I mostly write queer stuff, and I write. Well, before I wrote this story, I wrote primarily in Dutch, and the story was actually originally written in Dutch. But when an American publisher says, "I want to read it," well, yeah, of course I'm gonna translate it.
And you translated it in
Um,
like 3 days and sent it to me.
and I think I did the first chapter in like 3 days or something, or
Yeah,
not. I think even one day.
yeah,
And but when I got home, I did spend a lot more than 3 days on the translation.
yeah,
Though
yeah.
that is true. But yeah, I was very eager to get it translated. What other stuff do I write? All kinds of stuff. Usually it's queer. Right now, I'm working on a Dutch story that is just about two male childhood best friends falling in love.
Mhm.
Not sci-fi or
Yeah.
fantasy, just something fun for me to write while, edits are coming in and I have to work on a certain novel. And I also have a few short stories published in Dutch. And maybe one day I might also publish a couple in English, which would be nice.
Yeah, that'd be great. And go ahead and send me the links for those, and we'll make sure to put them in this so people can get to your Dutch stories. Are those
That,
translated at all, or they're only
no,
in Dutch? Okay.
they're only in Dutch. Right now, there's two of them online. There's two more, but they're in magazines, and you have to get the magazines. And unless you are in the Netherlands, that is going to be a little tricky for you,
Yeah.
I think.
Okay. Well, we'll put links to ones you can get to, and if you want to translate it, or if you speak Dutch, you can read those. And
And
then
I think Google Translate is very patient and usually very good at, well, at least translating the gist of it with
yeah,
the occasional odd word.
yeah. Well, cool. And then you have I guess tell me a little bit about your other sci-fi book. We talked about this a little bit too. So you have at least one other sci-fi fantasy, I guess fantasy book, right?
Saranda, you mean, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is, I'm still looking for a publisher on that one. So, and translating that to English is on the table if anyone's watching or interested.
Yeah.
And that one's about a lesbian assassin in a tidally locked world who goes from basically the dark side of the tidally locked world to the light side of that world in order to assassinate the most important ruler on that side.
Yeah. So also really interesting. We talked about both of those books. I was actually more interested in corruption just because I really like the political
Yeah,
and social system in this. But that's another one you have waiting in the wings. Um,
absolutely.
so yeah, what other fun stuff? What do you want to tell people about corruption and anything you want them to take away from this, or any non-spoiler things you want them to know?
Any non-spoiler things? I think if you are a kind of person for whatever reason who feels like they don't belong in a big group of regular, normal, and I say that with quotation marks, people, this could very well be the book for you because, in essence, it's a book about not belonging. And um, I am particularly very proud of the climax. Without any spoilers, I think it's one of the best things of the book, and I'm so excited to get it out and to get people to read it, and hopefully they'll like it as much as I did.
Yeah. And this is coming in January, January
January. Yeah.
2026.
Yeah.
So yeah, look for the campaign. We will have a package where you can get all of the books together. You can just get one book and get Corruption. You can get it in all different formats, paperback, ebook, and we'll send those out. So that'll be ready basically right after the campaign ends. We'll be sending it out right after you finish. So go look for the campaign. Get one of these great books. Any last thoughts or comments for us before we sign off?
I think you should subscribe to the campaign because the book needs more queer. Sorry, the world needs more queer books,
Yes,
and these are quite a few of them.
yes, absolutely. So yeah, go check out your queer books. If you are bisexual like us, go get Corruption. And yeah, we'll see you next time. This may actually be the last one I post before the campaign starts. So if this is the last one, then go back to the campaign.
Go back it. Yes, agreed.
All right, we'll talk to you later. Bye bye.
Bye bye.